I'm State Senator George Latimer, and I'm running for my third term in the New York State Senate. I previously served on the Rye City Council, on the Westchester County Board of Legislators, and in the State Assembly. My opponent has made term limits a key platform point. She's talked about the idea that term limits would be a cure-all for the corruption and the self-dealing that has plagued our Albany-based state government. Let me tell you why term limits alone won't work. Former Bronx Assemblyman Eric Stevenson was elected in 2010 as a reformer. By 2014, he was sentenced to a 3-year prison term for bribery and extortion. He ran afoul of the law within 2 terms. In 2014, Assemblywoman Gabriela Rosa was elected. By 2015, she was out of office. She was convicted for forging her citizenship papers, an illegality within 1 term. Also elected in 2014, Assemblywoman Angela Wozniak of Western New York was elected. She's not running this year after admitting to an inappropriate affair with a staffer, running unethical behavior within 1 term. There's simply no proof that term limits alone will solve our ethical woes. In fact, in Virginia, where governors can only serve 1 term before leaving office, former Governor Bob McDonnell was convicted of accepting bribes. Within less than 1 term, he was found to cross the line in ethics. Now, I can state firmly that I would vote for a reasonable term limit bill if it's put before the state Senate. In fact, I've already voted to put such limits on the leadership of the state legislature. And I would do so because, as a representative of the people of my district, that is what the majority of the people in this district desire. But the problem that we're facing is not length of tenure. The problem we're facing is money, the excessive amount of money that's available for political purposes. The problem that we face is concentration of power in just a few hands. And the problem we face is hyperpartisanship that tries to wipe out any voice of dissent. When you add those 3 issues together, that's what leads to the major ethical problems that we've seen from Dean Skelos, Shelley Silver, and many others. What we have to focus on is a change in the power structure in Albany and getting big money out of politics. In Albany, there's only 1 vote that any senator gets to make for real change in how the Senate actually works. That vote takes place during our organization of the chamber. During that vote, we choose who the new majority leader will be and what the rules of the Senate will be for the next term. Those votes are typically made on a partisan basis, with Democrats voting for the Democratic leader and the Republicans voting for the Republican leader. Historically, the Senate has had more Republicans than Democrats. In fact, Republicans have controlled the Senate chamber for 77 of the last 80 years. This is the entrenchment of the status quo. That status quo allows the Senate Majority Leader to determine which bills will make it to the floor of the Senate and when they will come up before us for a vote. This status quo also allows only Senate Republicans and their allies to negotiate what language and appropriations are put in the state budget. What we need is a shakeup of the rules of the Senate and a shakeup in the leadership that guides them. My opponent is being funded and supported by the same Senate Republicans that have brought you the status quo. So don't let the rhetoric fool you. I put forth proposals to remove big money from politics. I have voted to take pensions away from elected officials who are convicted of work-related felonies. I've even introduced legislation to disallow convicted felons from ever holding an office in a political party. As we head toward Election Day, I hope you'll pay attention to the real issues and not fall prey to the snake oil salesman. Together, we can make the changes that are necessary to bring state government back to representing the needs of real people like you.